Today is the 4th of May 2026. Yesterday I mainly talked about mindfulness, its characteristics, functions, manifestations, and proximate cause. And I explain each of these in detail. I especially highlighted the immediate benefits that can be experienced through mindfulness, protection, a sense of safety, freedom, deep calm, inner peace, joy, and mental comfort. These can be enjoyed at any moment when mindfulness is present, whether in sitting, walking, or during everyday activities. At the end of the talk, I explained that mindfulness itself is the main cause for the arising and sustaining of other mindfulness. In other words, each preceding moment of mindfulness serves as the condition for the arising of the next moment of mindfulness. That is why we place such a strong emphasis on the unbroken continuity of mindfulness, because each moment of mindfulness does not just arise and pass away. It supports, it sustains and strengthens the next. Again, this principle of continuity is not just about mindfulness. It also applies to effort, to concentration, to wisdom, to faith, in fact, to all wholesome mental qualities. Just as one moment of mindfulness supports the next, one moment of right effort strengthens the next. One moment of concentration deepens the next. One moment of faith nourishes the next. And the wisdom that arises now prepares the ground for deeper wisdom in the future. In this way, path is built moment by moment. Wholesome mental states reinforce one another and grow stronger through continuity. If these wholesome mental qualities are not continuous, they will not grow, they will not become stronger, and they will not mature. Just like a plant cannot thrive without regular watering or cultivation, wholesome states like mindfulness, effort, concentration, faith, and wisdom need steady, continuous nourishment to develop fully. Without continuity, they remain weak, shallow, and easily overpowered by defilements. As I mentioned yesterday, when you are pursuing an education, if you don't attend classes regularly and consistently, your learning becomes weak and disconnected. Weak and disconnected. When if you pass grade 1, if you don't move on to grade 2 without delay, or if you skip the several years, your understanding won't develop properly. In fact, the more time you skip, the harder it becomes to regain momentum and strengthen your education. In the same way, spiritual qualities like mindfulness, effort, concentration, and wisdom cannot grow if they are practiced only occasionally or in a scattered way. Without consistency, they remain fragile and easily fade away. And why do wholesome mental qualities become weak, fragile, and easily fade away? Of the interruption because of the interruption caused by defilements. Whenever there is a gap, a break, uh, in mindfulness, in effort or concentration, unwholesome mental states naturally slip in. The mind does not remain neutral. If you fail to develop wholesome qualities, unwholesome ones will arise and occupy the space. Craving, aversion, and delusion, restlessness, laziness. And they don't wait for they don't wait for an invitation. They take advantage of every unguarded moment. That's why we emphasize continuous mindfulness, uninterrupted effort to protect the mind and to give wholesome qualities the chances to grow strong and mature. So now let us talk about how continuous mindfulness need to be cultivated. For sitting meditation, as I have already mentioned, you should begin observing from the very first rising and falling of the abdomen right after the moment you close your eyes. From the first rising to the second, from the second to the third, from the third to the fourth, and so on. If mental objects or bodily sensations become predominant, observe them mindfully, and then return to the abdomen to continue noting the rising and falling as continuously and consistently as possible. Try your best. Try your best to maintain this continuity without breaks. Then when the session is over, When the session is over and you want to stop the observation, or you want to open your eyes, first note the intention. First note the intention, like wanting to stop, or wanting to open the eyes, wanting to open the eyes. Note these 2 or 3 times. Then slowly and mindfully begin to open your eyes while mentally labeling opening, opening, opening. If you observe carefully at this stage, you may notice many subtle experiences like stickiness, heaviness, hardness, ease in opening the eyes, and difficulty, at times delay or no delay at all. Sometimes both eyes may open together, and other times one eye may open slightly before the other, and so on. This kind of close, continuous observation, even in seemingly small or ordinary actions, sharpens mindfulness, deepens, deepens insight, and trains the mind to remain steady and aware throughout all situations. After opening the eyes, uh, what is the next object to observe? Almost all meditators experience a break in mindfulness at this point. They may start looking around, relax for a while, or become caught up in thinking. But in fact, as soon as you open your eyes, you should immediately note looking, seeing, looking, seeing. Then without delay, continue observing your action. For example, if you want to switch your hands, first note wanting to switch. Be careful not to move your hands or legs at the same time. Then mindfully switch your hands one after another, noting movement, and do the same thing with moving your legs. Next, what do you do if you are going to bow? Note wanting to bow down, and then bowing. Here too, there are many objects to observe, like lifting the hands, to bring the palms together, placing the palms together, like which may include the contact between palms, lowering the hands, lowering the head, then placing the hands and head on the ground, raising the head, raising the hands again, and so on. Each movement, can be clearly noted with mindfulness. Then if you are about to stand up, note wanting to stand up, and then slowly stand up, observing sensations such as heaviness, tightness, or warmth in the body. Once standing, if you adjust your clothes, note adjusting. If you turn, note turning. If you hold your hands together, note holding. Each and every moment should be clearly noted without rushing or skipping. Then when you are about to begin your step, note wanting to step. Then observe each step with mindfulness. From that very moment, your walking meditation begins. From that very moment, your walking meditation begins. However, many meditators don't consider these early steps as part of walking meditation. They assume that walking meditation only starts when they arrive at their designated walking path. In truth, every step counts. Every step counts, whether you are walking inside the meditation hall or on your way to the walking path, to the dining hall, or back to your room. And in walking meditation, observe each step mindfully, from the first to the second to the third to the fourth, and so on. When you reach the end of the walking lane, make sure to observe standing, wanting to turn, then turning. If you drink water or go for washing, try to note all activities without missing anything or being forgetful. Again, while eating, if you observe all the activities mindfully, then the mindfulness of scooping becomes the cause for the mindfulness of lifting your hand. The mindfulness of lifting leads to the mindfulness of putting the food into the mouth. That leads to the mindfulness of dropping your hand. Mindfulness of dropping becomes the cause for mindfulness of chewing. The mindfulness of the the first chew becomes the cause for the second for the third, the third for the fourth, and so on. Then the mindfulness of chewing becomes the cause for the mindfulness of swallowing. In the same way, the mindfulness of the first lump of food becomes the cause for the mindfulness of the second lump of food. So if you observe in this way, your mindfulness deepens. Your mindfulness deepens and you may begin to experience many things. Especially while chewing, you may notice different textures like hardness, roughness, softness, warmth, or coolness, and various flavors such as sweetness, saltiness, spiciness, or bitterness. Not only that, but different mental states. Different mental states may also arise in relation to those flavors, liking or disliking, uh, wanting to eat more or not wanting to eat more, greed, at times irritation, or even a sudden desire to stop eating. So all of these are important objects to observe with mindfulness. By observing these reactions clearly, we begin to see how sensations give rise, the craving and aversion, and how mindfulness interrupts that process leading to insight. So in this way, throughout the day, you should try your best. You should try your best to observe each and every activity closely, carefully. You should make you should make a firm commitment. You should make a firm commitment with strong determination, great willingness. Great willingness also required. Great willingness and wholehearted effort. If you give your best, you will be successful. And all of these observations during the day will support your mindfulness at the end of the day when you go to sleep. Even then, continue observing, sitting on the bed, lying down, stretching your legs, adjusting your body, maybe covering your body with blankets, and then noting the rising and falling of the abdomen until the moment you are just about to fall asleep. A hardworking meditator becomes capable of noticing the very last moment, the moment just before falling asleep. That mindfulness becomes the cause for the mindfulness of the next day. The next day again, note the process of waking, noticing that you are waking up, maybe noting the intention to open the eyes, and then opening, and so on. And continue observing the activities that follow. So in this way, throughout the day, you should try your best to maintain mindfulness continuously and consistently. Many meditators ask, how can we maintain mindfulness during daily activities, because they keep losing it even though they try. So to be mindful in activities successfully, you need a strong willingness, great desire to be mindful in all activities. Great willingness is required. If your willpower, your determination is weak, it won't be easy to succeed. With that willingness, you must also make a clear commitment. Like, no matter what happens, I will do my best to stay mindful. I will make it no matter what. That kind of a clear commitment is required. Then Practically speaking, make sure that your eyes are well restrained, and your movements in daily activities are not rushing, not rushed or fast. Because if your eyes are wandering and unrestrained, and if your body is moving too quickly, then it becomes very difficult to maintain mindfulness. Very difficult to maintain mindfulness. Because the text mentions that one should act as if blind, even though one has eyes. Just as a blind person has no interest in visible objects, similarly, a meditator should not take any interest in what is seen. Rather than looking outward, they should turn their focus inward and observe internal objects. If for any reason the eyes happen to see something, one should immediately become aware of it and promptly bring the attention back to the meditation practice. The text also mentions that one should act as if weak, even though one has strength. A healthy person can move quickly and with energy. However, during meditation, one should behave like a weak or sick person. For example, a person suffering from back pain moves slowly, carefully. In the same way, a meditator should move slowly and mindfully, maintaining calmness and awareness in every action. And the slower you move, the faster you progress. These two qualities, acting as if blind and as if weak, are essential for maintaining mindfulness during daily activities. However, if you are someone who is easily distracted by sounds, then a third quality should be added. Act as if deaf, even though you have ears. Do not prick up your ears or take interest in sounds and avoid getting involved with them. Just as you turn your attention inward instead of outward through the eyes, you should also avoid following sounds through the ears. In addition to cultivate these qualities, it is important to maintain a consistent order of activities throughout the day, especially during transitions between postures or talks. This structured approach supports mindfulness, helping the mind stay stable and attentive in each moment. For example, when a sitting meditation session ends, observe carefully the sequence of intention and movements, like what is the first object that arises in the mind. It might be the intention to stop sitting, or the desire to open the eyes. Then comes the second, perhaps opening the eyes. Next, the third, seeing or noticing visible objects. The fourth, maybe the intention to move hands. Then comes the movement itself. First the right hand, then the left hand. Following that, the legs begin to move. First the right leg, then the left, and so on. Each time you finish a sitting session, try to maintain this same order of action. Just like counting 1, 2, 3 is easy because the sequence is well established in the mind. The same applies here. If you are asked to count in a random order, it becomes confusing and unnatural. But a fixed order is recorded by the mind, making it easier, more spontaneous, and more effortless over time. This is just one example. In the same way, throughout your daily activities, you should try to maintain a consistent and mindful order of activities. And this structured approach helps train the mind to stay present, attentive, and grounded in each moment. And each of these steps should be performed mindfully and in the same order each time. And repetition builds familiarity, making the process more natural and effortless over time, because disordered action, by contrast, confuse the mind and weaken mindfulness. By consistently observing and repeating the same sequence of mindful actions, the mind becomes more stable, more present, and more deeply attuned to the flow of experience. And this structure awareness helps integrate mindfulness into everyday life. Despite practicing in this way, you may still miss certain actions. And that's natural. That's natural. Don't get discouraged or disappointed. Instead, when that happens, simply take note of it and mentally mark the missed action. Reflect and remember, what did you miss? The next time you are about to perform the same tasks, remind yourself in advance to be extra mindful of that specific action you missed previously. This is how you gradually cover the gaps in your awareness and build a continuous unbroken thread of mindfulness. Nobody's mindfulness is perfect in the beginning. It's about being present, being honest, and consistent. Each missed moment is an opportunity to learn and deepen your awareness. By gently and repeatedly bringing your attention back to what was missed, you train the mind to remain more steadily aware in all activities. Again, if there is a particular action you consistently struggle to be mindful of, and you truly want to improve, then you need to give it special attention. You will need to give special treatment or special attention, even more than other actions. Like think of it like a subject in a school that you are weak in. What do? You focus more on it, spend extra time and put in more effort than you would for the subjects you are already good at. The same principle applies here for the action you are weakest in. Double your mindfulness. Double your mindfulness, apply extra effort, and bring like a sharper awareness. Over time, this focus attention will help turn your weakness into strength. Again, observing and noting intention. Intention mind can be especially helpful in connecting two actions or during transition between postures, uh, particularly for meditators who have been practicing for some time. And this can serve as another technique to help cultivate unbroken mindfulness. Because noting intention is not not only helpful for cultivating unbroken mindfulness, but it also plays an important role in developing and discriminating knowledge, insight into mind and matter, and into the law of cause and effect. That's why you may note the intentions of the actions. These are a few techniques to help maintain unbroken mindfulness during daily activities. Techniques that must be applied again and again. It's not something that happens overnight. It requires steady effort, patience, and repetition. Uh, However much you tried yesterday, try a little more today. However much you have tried today, try even more tomorrow. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. And gradually, mindfulness will begin to carry over into all your movements, all your thoughts, and not just during formal meditation, but throughout your entire day. And this is very important because a meditator who practices with diligence in daily life will see rapid improvement. Will see rapid improvement. On the other hand, a meditator who does not make strong effort and day-to-day activities will not progress quickly. More than that, when the time comes for the unfolding of insight knowledge, it is the diligent practitioner, mindful even in ordinary activities, who will be also who will be able to realize it easily, unlike one who has been careless in daily activities, in daily mindfulness. Knowing the importance of mindfulness, you should not be heedless. You should not be heedless at any time or in any moment. Never underestimate the impact of a lapse in awareness by thinking like nothing will happen just because I miss one object. This kind of thinking weakens your commitment and creates gaps in mindfulness. In fact, even a single moment of carelessness can lead to more moments of distraction, gradually breaking the continuity of awareness, and that is essential for deepening concentration, deepening insight. Just as a small crack can weaken the foundation of a structure, small lapses, if ignored, can hinder the growth of insight. So treat every grounded grounded in the present. When you become capable of observing continuously and when mindfulness is permitted or distracted, the mind misses the subtle rising and passing away of phenomena. It sees only fragments. It sees only fragments, not the full process. Uh, this lack of continuity prevents deep insight from developing. Uh, just as a flickering light cannot illuminate a room steadily. Similarly, a scattered mind cannot fully absorb the nature of reality. Cannot. That's why just as striking two stones or pieces of wood continuously will eventually produce fire as long as you do not stop. In the same way, may you all be able to develop mindfulness continuously and consistently. By doing so, may you cultivate deep concentration and clear understanding.